Honorable Chief Guest, dignitaries on and off the dais, faculty members, and my dear student managers, good afternoon to one and all. I, Shweta Chaudhary, student manager of Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, take immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Sanjay Chakrabarti. Sir is a chartered accountant and is the ex-senior partner at E&Y and Young's LLP. Sir is having over 18 years of experience at E&Y, where he has worked as a national clean technology leader and was the market leader for industrial consumer and infrastructure vertical. Sir was also the leader of India desk at E&Y New York office for 2 years. And now Mr. Chakrabarti is founding partner of 3Y Ventures LLP that owns Tag8, India's first comprehensive lost and found recovery service company. His core strength areas are general management, business development, and marketing. Sir, now I would like to request you to address student managers to your words of wisdom. Please, sir.
I just have one video that I need to play later on. Later on. And there's no slide. Hello everyone, and it's an absolute pleasure and delight to be here and seeing the entire strength that is out here. A quick introduction about me. I, till the turn of the calendar, was with Ernst & Young, and if I just go back in history, I worked for one firm for 18 years in the consulting background, which I don't know is a good thing or a bad thing. It could have its own connotation. But the fact is that I wasn't able to convince anyone else after my first job interview to hire me. So there I was for 18 years working in one firm. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Post chartered accountancy, I got into tax, did tax for almost 12-15 years. In that process, worked in Delhi, Bombay, New York for a couple of years. And then finally, it was discovered that I wasn't good at tax. So I had to figure out another thing to do in life. And that brought me to the markets team of Ernst & Young, which was just set up. In the markets team, what we really did was strategize, develop the entire business plan, think of new sectors that we would want to focus. And thereafter, I got really pushed into the sector of clean tech. That's something that became really core to me. I loved the entire concept of renewable energy, water, waste management, which I thought was incredibly important. And the last 3 years that I spent in Ernst & Young was as the clean tech national leader. At the turn of the calendar, my partner here, Alok, who's also ex-Ernst & Young, and I decided that it was time to do something else, and we ended up, now it's been 10 months since we are on our own as entrepreneurs. And yes, so the idea really is to talk a bit about what we are doing, and more importantly, I would ideally like to spend more time listening from you guys, any questions that you may have, and really translating those questions then otherwise. As it would already be evident in the last 5 minutes as I'm speaking, I'm far more comfortable, being that I'm a consultant by profession, in looking at slides, presentations, and then talking about something that I know, rather than handling questions that I'm not aware of where it will come from. But the good part is that my partner Alok is far better at handling questions than me. So whatever question that I won't be able to answer, I will have a look at Alok, and hopefully, as he does and has been doing in the last 10 months that we've been together, he will take the tougher ones and I will take the easier ones. So that's really the deal that we have. Now, before we start with that, I would want to play a very, very short video of what we do. And I must confess, this is an opportunity, now that I'm a businessman, I have to promote the concept that we are running at any place that I go to. And I'm sure that this kind of an audience is a great setting for me to get a feedback, for Alok to get a feedback on what we are doing. So with no further ado, I'll just request to play the video. So actually, before you play the video, our concept is, very simply put, we are creating India's first comprehensive lost and found recovery services company. Has anyone heard of that kind of a concept globally in India? I hope not in India, because then I'll need to eat my words immediately. But globally, has anyone come across the concept of lost and found recovery services? Has anyone lost any valuable in their lives? Is there anyone who has not lost anything valuable in their life? And I'm talking about material things. I'm not talking about really emotional, sentimental stuff. But I'm sure all the guys around would stand up immediately. I'm not sure about the girls here. But how many people haven't lost anything material in their lives? Whoa! I think we need to figure out a different business model now. So you guys have never lost anything in your life, anything material? Wow. Okay. I mean, for the sake of my business, I'm hoping that you do soon. Has anyone found some things around? How many people have found things around? How many of you all have managed to return that particular thing to the owner? Okay. And how many of you have been handsomely rewarded for returning that stuff? Whoever puts up his hand, I'm going to then ask you as to what the reward was. So again, the question goes, how many of you have been handsomely rewarded for returning something? Who is it? I can't see. I was wondering why there are additional chairs here. Okay, so we have a short, simple concept. If you could just play the video.
Today's fast-paced life, it is common to lose valuables. The sense of loss is greater if there are memories, emotions, sentiments, hard work associated with the valuables, or the loss leaves you totally stranded. It is troublesome to report and follow up for the lost valuable. In today's fast-paced life, it is common to lose valuables. The sense of loss is greater if there are memories, emotions, emotions, sentiments, hard work associated with the valuables, or the loss leaves you totally stranded.
Is it playing there?
In today's fast-paced life, it is common to lose valuables. The sense of loss is greater if there are memories, emotions, sentiments, hard work associated with the valuables, or the loss leaves you totally stranded. It is troublesome to report and follow up for the lost valuable. Even found valuables struggle to reach their owner due to lack of identification. Presenting Tag 8. Help your lost valuables find you. Attach the tag and register your valuable to secure ownership. Simple, easy, cost-effective. If your tagged valuable is ever lost, the finder connects with Tag 8. We arrange for the prompt collection from the doorstep of the finder. In the meantime, you realize that you have lost your valuable. Simply click to trigger a loss alert. You could also place an additional reward for the finder. Since the valuable was found immediately, it was already on its way to be delivered at your doorstep. Our reward program increases the probability of the finder taking the initiative to return. You can tag almost all your valuables. Tag 8. Make things smarter.
Yeah. So really our concept is extremely simple. Yes?
Sir, I really appreciate the idea, but don't you think it will enhance the chances of keeping the stuff retention? Like people know you.
Yes. So right now you wouldn't do it if you wanted to steal something?
Because I will be getting some reward.
Yes.
So it will enhance the chances of stealing stuff.
True. Let me kind of yeah, that's absolutely accurate. The thing is, the gifts that we are giving are going to be nominal. So the rewards that we have are really a certification that will go out from the authority. We are currently talking to the Bombay police, and in future we'll have other people kind of coming through. The second is our products will go out as reward. There are gift hampers. We are talking to several consumer product company who will give you a gift hamper. And fourth, which thing we think is critical, is the owner can place a reward directly for the finder. So now out of the 4 items, the fourth one, which is extremely critical, doesn't work in this play because you wouldn't want to reward yourself. That kind of goes out. We will very closely monitor the IP addresses of people who are reporting and who are getting. So that's something that we'll kind of try and figure out who is kind of giving it. The third aspect that we are pushing through is the 2 events wherein you pay us. First is to get the tags initially, and we've kept it really low priced because we want this to be pretty much put across products. It's not an Apple product. Our idea is to really go out and put it across the board. The other time that you pay is at cost the logistics charges. So if I am losing it purposely and claiming that I'm a good guy and now I return it and get the reward, yes, there are chances that people would use that, but on the flip side, you will have to pay for the logistics. Plus, you don't really get much out of it because that reward is anyway missing because you rewarding yourself doesn't work. Then what you are really getting is the certification, and over a period of time, we will be monitoring it closely to see how that kind of works through. So if I give you another example, there are various systems that are there. For instances, if you take currently, which is being significantly discussed, are these discount coupons given by the food aggregators. I don't know how many of you all have read this entire hue and cry about what is happening. So in that situation, you have obviously that ability to misuse the system, which I accept and concede that here you will have that initial challenge. But from our perspective, what we really thought, and you know, there are different models globally. While this whole concept is new in India, there are different models globally. We felt that it is important to appreciate the good work that someone does, and if we risk maybe even a marginal 5% people playing and getting something that they don't deserve, we would rather go out and thank the 95% who genuinely return and ignore the 5%. And hopefully, as we grow, we'll keep a close watch on that and ensure that how do we reduce that percentage further and keep it to a minimal. But you're absolutely right, you know. And then I can give you various examples like, you know, we just met the person from Future Group. There is going to be pilferage in your retail sector. The question is that do you meet the industry benchmark? Are you below the industry benchmark? Are you above the industry benchmark? But you cannot not be in the retail sector because you're afraid that there will be pilferage. So the idea is to how do you reduce it to the minimum, but absolutely spot on your point in taking out one of the challenges that we have. Any other questions on the model? Yes?
What if somebody removes the tag?
It's lost. So if somebody steals it, our thing doesn't work when someone steals it. In fact, we debated a lot on can we get an item such that you cannot remove it at all. So we worked back with the likes of 3M, which practically is the all and end all of adhesive manufacturers. And their point of view was that they use adhesive which go on tires, which is like the roughest use. Rubber is not really an element which is good for sticking something on, and that adhesive still stays. But there is no adhesive which can fix a stuff in such a manner, a tag in such a manner that it will never come out. So what we are addressing is practically wherein people want to return. We are making it easy. We are incentivizing that portion of the return. And talking of statistics as of today, we have a success rate of 38% overall in terms of people wanting to return, or people actually have returned. And this success rate, I must admit, is very, very high when it comes to valuables which have relatively low resale value. And the best part is keys, car keys, for example. I mean, even a normal car key today costs around 10,000 bucks for a remote car key. And really, it has no value for the finder. And our record for finding lost car keys is 100%. So practically every car key that's lost, we've found it. So it depends. Someone wants to steal it, it's gone. What we are doing is we are not assuring, we are not geo-tracking it. You know, we are in other businesses. In fact, we do a lot of telematics services. So we work with logistics companies in tracking their vehicles to the end zone. We can pretty much, using our software, tell you for how long was the engine operating, you know, whether there was pilferage of petrol. We can give you that granular level of information with the work that we do. But as far as physical tracking is concerned, the only way you can do that today is GPS. And GPS requires charging, requires your SIM card going, and practically the equipment is far bigger, so you can't really put it across the chain, and it is expensive. So given all that, you know, as of now, we believe that the solution that we want to focus on is really talking of the good people wanting to return. How do we make their lives easier? So that really is the proposition. Yes?
You said that you charge a particular amount for tax.
Yes.
Does the tax value differ according to the value of the material, the value of the item?
That's a great question. It doesn't. We again debated a lot on that, and as I said, what we are really driving on is really getting people to adopt the system. So we don't want it to be expensive. And at the end of the day, if we look at it from our perspective, our effort is the same. So it doesn't matter. Where the delta potentially could be is when the owner decides to announce a reward. Obviously, the higher or more expensive the item is, or emotionally more close he or she is to the item, the reward will be higher. But it's not going from our side, it's going to go from the owner's side directly to the finder. Okay, that's it. Great. Yes. No, I was not going away. I was going to the next topic that I was going to cover. But yeah, sure.
So one question. Suppose I lost your key, car key. Suppose.
Yes.
And generally, people, if sees that car key, they tend to return the car keys. But if they sees the tag, then they won't return it. For the rewards, they can keep it with themselves, and they can later call and.
Typically what we are talking about again is, some of the things that we've learned through our pilots. And I'll come to your question specifically, but let me share that with you. And that's a message I'm really glad I've got this platform to share with you as the next gen, is when we speak to people about our idea, there are a segment who love it. They think it's great, it's simple, we understand very quickly and we like it. But there is another segment who turns around and says, guys, you should be doing this in Singapore, or you should be doing this in Europe. Because in India, and in the Hindi language, sab chor hai. कोई कुछ वापस देता नहीं है. And most of those people who I have heard this from, or we have heard this from, are upper middle class and above. Most of these guys are upper middle class and above. Now the truth is, one of the most, even for us, it was quite surprising. And now we understand. Out of the returns that we've got, maximum returns are from people who are middle class or lower middle class. Maximum returns are from lower middle class and lower middle class. And let me share some example. Let me share this one big example that I have. So initially, before starting, we obviously had to do a lot of pilots, see are people returning, does return at all happen. Imagine spending a year on building this up and then actually being confronting with the position that, yeah, indeed, nobody returns in India. So we did pilots, we left different things in different places, and we were, I was in the back office. We had a lot of the management students who were interning with us, who were around leaving these products, giving us calls saying, okay, we've dropped ABCD. Now, one particular incident, and there are several of these to really relate. We had dropped a car key in a taxi. This was like a Kali Pili taxi in Bombay. And this old man, Muslim man, and clearly based on what I heard from the team on the ground, he was practically almost, a daily wage earner. Taxi was not the most hep kind, and the key was there. He happened to find the key. He called me, which was evident. I knew I knew his profile before he called me, because again I had that information. Believe it or not, I had over 15-minute conversation with him, convincing him that if you get another passenger, please go. I will take the key from you at a later point of time. This gentleman refused to go. He was set on the fact that ये आपकी काम की चीज़ है, And if you don't have it, it will really cause you inconvenience. And he was saying it in his Urdu, and really I was struggling with my Bombaya Hindi to kind of confront that, which was the other challenge. But he kept insisting, saying, don't worry about it, you please come, you take it, I will not take another fare or a passenger till the time I don't return that key to you. And his closing words were, when I had to, I didn't want to tell him we are just doing an experiment and, you can leave it, don't worry, because that would have not gone well with that person. Or so I thought at that point of time. But his last statement to me was, साहब ये आपकी अमानत है हमारे पास, आप जब भी चाहोगे हम आपको लौटाएंगे. So from my perspective, your question is valid. Again, it dovetails to the other question that was raised here, that we are not giving you the ticket to paradise as a reward program. We are making you feel good to do the right thing. There will be that 5% piece which may not necessarily work in that zone, but fundamentally there is a lot of good happening. And I think it's as I said, this platform is great for such a to really share this incident, is because you guys are the next gen. It's your guys' belief, because you moving out of this room will have that conviction about India, Bombay, Pune, about your institute, about people at large. And let me tell you, if I reverse the question again, there is not a single soul who has said otherwise. If I ask any person in this audience saying, will you return?
Yes, sir.
If I tell you, it is $1 million item, nobody will ever know that it's been stolen, will you return? The answer will still be yes. Then if I extend the question to say, will your family members return? The answer is again yes. If I ask you, will your extended family return? So who is it who's not returning? So that's the question that you need to really think about it, and we fundamentally are convinced, otherwise we wouldn't have been setting up this business. We've had now, we are yet to put out all the instances on our website. So we have a website, www.tag8.in. Please feel free to visit it. Any feedback that you have for us, we are more than happy to kind of take it. But let me fundamentally tell you that soon you will have these stories put up. And my friends, the fact is, the middle class, lower middle class are returning. I'm hoping that the students join the movement. I'm hoping that you convince the upper middle class or the rich to kind of return. Fundamentally, this is a story that needs to carry on. Let me also share a blunt statistics which is away from whatever we have done so far. Reader's Digest does a study of which are the most honest cities globally. And you can, do a search and figure out the actual report wherein this has come through. So they picked up, I think, around 15 or 20 cities across the globe. They put up wallets, 12 wallets with some equivalent cash, and they left it in different places. Out of 12 wallets, at number 1 spot was Helsinki, wherein they returned 11 out of 12 wallets. And I'm guessing the 12th wallet was lost somewhere and therefore not returned. But yes, pretty much all the wallet was returned. Can anyone guess which city was at number 2?
Mumbai.
Guys, I was hoping Pune is going to feature somewhere. What's happening? Yes, the city was Mumbai. At second position, guess how many were returned out of the 12 wallet, how many were returned? 9. And this is statistics available. So I think as individuals, as Indians, we are clearly underestimating ourselves when it comes to doing the right thing. I mean, if I go back to my childhood days, which was years back, the one fundamental aspect that was grilled into me was never take anything that you find on the road, never bring it back to your home. Collect it, give it to the temple, do something with it, but ensure that you do not take someone else's stuff and bring it home, because it is bad omen. Does anyone identify with that? Have you guys ever been told this? So I think there is a lot that is pretty much there, which fundamentally will work up, and what we propose to do is we propose to, on a monthly basis, come up with statistics, wherein it's happening all around us. It's just that we aren't able to capture that information. We may be reading of articles here and there, but this is something that we want to gather and share with you all. Any other questions? Yes.
Sir, how is this tag detected, sir? Like, with the help of any communicating satellite, or only when someone else detects it, like found?
Only if someone else finds, because we have tags which can be detected, which is through the GPS system, but we use it only for vehicles and other expensive items because it doesn't currently justify the cost.
So, is there any kind of application or app for that purpose?
Yes, we have an app which we'll be launching in the next 2 weeks.
And sir, in how many cities you are operating, sir?
That's a very good question. We are doing this globally. You lose your item across the globe and we'll deliver it back to you. In fact, we've just signed up with a travel company wherein every passport that they process, wherever you lose it, obviously if you lose it in London, there's absolutely no point for me to deliver it to you in India, because there's no utility of that passport to you any longer. What we promise is, if that item is found in London, we will get it delivered to you wherever you are in Europe or within the location. We will get that delivered. And therefore, we've ensured that even from a call center perspective, we have French, Spanish, and English are the 3 languages that we are catering to. Yes, you can ask me other questions that come out which is even beyond TagGate, because I know that there's too much TagGate advertisement happening here, and next time I may not be called into this place. So I'm now hoping to get some more questions about anything. I know you guys are the senior class, and soon you're going to be out in the corporate world. Anything that you have, I'll be happy to address.
Sir, my question is, what are the legal issues involved in your business, and what is the revenue model? Because I thought of the same business idea before 5 to 4 days ago when I lost my phone.
Right.
So what are the legal issues involved, and what is the revenue model?
See, that's again a really good issue, and I'm glad that we thought it before you. So the revenue model is selling tags. If we're going to only make money from selling tags, we don't want to go the way that if you are applying the tag on an iPhone, therefore you pay me more money, and if it's a Micromax, then reduce the amount of money, because there is a huge social message that we want to translate through this process. So we are happy growing at a certain rate, which is not, for us, from day one, even today, today is aspirational, but in 3 months' time, we will be cash positive. So we are ensuring that as a business, we want to generate bottom line, and not a top line kind of a growth and just go around spraying it across. So we are going to make money from sale of tags, and as I said, this is one of our businesses. There are other, so we can do potentially vehicle management, which is not part of this, but within the Tag8 umbrella. The legal issues, really, we've partnered with 3 logistics companies, and practically what are their do's and don'ts of picking up and transportation is something that we are pretty much relying on. Further, at least for Bombay, we've had significant advanced discussions with the Bombay police at the commissioner level. For them, incidentally, any lost item is actually a government subject, a police subject. It is their responsibility to pick it up. But obviously, given the police strength and the Indian population, lost and found comes as a low priority for them, and therefore they are happy that we are walking into that space and associating with them. So somewhere our cover really is talking to the police, the entire logistics company, whatever policies that are following, that's something that we are following. Also, one of our board member is a very senior lawyer. So, we are ensuring that we take those steps in place.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is, where will you make these tags available, whether online or on an offline mode?
So it would be available online, and we are reaching out to different avenues to make this available. For example, colleges. Like we are working with one of the management institutes in Bombay, the Lala's College, Lala's Institute of Management, wherein what we have done is for an event, they have Chakraview event that's coming up, I think 11th and 12th of this month, wherein we are giving out our tags as entry tickets to the event. So, it's a collaboration with the college. So the college is kind of part funding it. We are obviously giving it a discounted case, because reaching out to students is for us a dream come true. And that becomes the pass. Now, incidentally, that remains with that person. So it becomes utility as well, because otherwise you take the pass, you throw it away and it's gone. Now you have that pass with you, whether you put it on your bag or whether you put it on your wallet, phone, wherever. You obviously get only one tag. But that's what we are doing with Institute. So if that happens, then you get it free if you are registered for the event. We are looking at various avenues. We could do it for employees. Like I can tell you, as Ernst & Young employee, the biggest joy of joining Ernst & Young was to be able to tell other people that I'm in Ernst & Young. That was like a big, big high. Getting a pen with Ernst & Young written, you would never use it. You would just keep it here and show everyone that, you would go for social occasions wearing that pen wherein you had no use of the pen. You would have shirts, there's a whole brand store actually in Ernst & Young wherein you get EY branded products, because you want to demonstrate that you are part of that family. The same holds good for a lot of organizations. I'm sure each one of you is really proud to be associated with this institute. And you would love to have that messaging going out. So the tags could actually come from the institute, the tags could come from the company. So there are various avenues for that. But yeah, if you want to have it online, www.tag8.in.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Now you are asking too many questions. I have to go back to him. Yeah.
Dear student managers, as we are running short of time, we will have only last 2 questions.
Hello.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I am an operations student. So my question is how the back-end operations is required in Tag8. Please discuss it, and how the operations help you till the delivery of the lost item.
You want to take that? I just realized, okay, so how does the operation work? So a lot of our tags, so let me, on a supply chain basis, our tag material is actually getting imported. Our adhesives are also getting imported because the look, feel is a big aspect, the aesthetic value. We worked with one of the leading branding agencies to get the design done. So that material perspective is done. We are getting it printed in Bombay. Once that print comes in, we'll be able to distribute it across. People are supposed to register the tags, and we have a website, call center 24/7, plus app, which will pretty much address all of these things. And once you lose it, our call center comes into play. We have back-end tie-ups with logistics company globally to ensure that any call that is picked up for a lost item, we'll pretty much get involved to ensure that that thing is returned. So that broadly is a logistics piece. Though I must tell you, it was a nightmare putting down the SOP for the call center with 3 languages, 24-hour shift, all the possibilities that come in, because we have different segments. So we have a pet segment, we have passport segment, we have a bags and keys segment, we have a gadget segment. Within gadget segment, what I didn't discuss was that if you ever have a warranty related issue, all you need to do, get onto our app or our website and just tap saying initiate warranty, and we come into the picture and ensure that that part is also delivered to you. So today what happens is, if you have a problem with your phone, say hypothetically your screen is broken or there's some malfunction in the phone, you need to figure out where your invoice is. For someone as organized as me, doesn't have a copy of the invoice. Then you get to the next stage of calling someone, waiting in, explaining to that person. Practically you just go out and get a new phone because you don't have that time. What we are saying is, you have a problem with the phone, and if you have registered with us for lost and found, as a free service, we give you the warranty management. Just come and trigger and say what is the issue. We will have the authorized service provider call in within 12 hours. So that's the additional piece that goes within the logistics. The last question coming through. Yes.
Hello, sir. So my question is, in place of your tag, I can put my name and phone number over my stuff.
Absolutely. And we would encourage people to do that, because for us, adoption is more important at this stage. What we learned the hard way is that, without getting into any specific zone, if I was the 6th company in this field, potentially adoption and people doing it would have been much easier, because people have seen this model work. Those questions that are coming from the audience wouldn't really come through, because it's a set zone. I have to just explain to you why I'm better than the 6 people who are there. Whether I'm better or not is, at least I should have the presentation that explains that. So that is what it is. For us, we are, I would say, selling the concept. We are putting this together for the first time in India. So if you think it's a great idea and you can do it by putting your tag, we actually, to certain extent, have succeeded. Not certain extent, complete extent have succeeded. So you now are a potential customer because you believe it's a great idea. Now let's step in and then talk about, if you believe that, is there a possibility you looking at us, then doing it yourself? For that, our strategy is keep the cost at a level that you wouldn't want to do it yourself. Second is, as I said, our stuff is getting imported, adhesive. Like a big complaint is that sticker निकालने के बाद वो gum तो नहीं रह जाएगा. You don't want that on your product. You don't want to kind of get that through. Third is the entire service that we are providing at the back end, which includes call center, reward mechanism, the warranty services around it. So we believe the first stage, we'll be delighted if all of you even get out and say that, great concept, पर मैं तो अपना tag लगाऊंगा, I am done. For me, it's a extremely successful hour that I've spent here. Just by you saying that, this is what I should do. So I would encourage each one of you, with or without tag, please go out and put their tags, because people return. Have faith in people returning. But coming to the second point is, we are very confident that once you are at that level, we have enough and more for you to realize that at the cost that is coming through, I'd rather be in the Tag 8 team than not. Yeah. Yes?
Thank you, sir.
As you can see, I'm really happy right now because clearly I didn't have to come to Alok for the difficult questions except for the one in operations. But, absolute pleasure listening to you guys, and I would specifically, thank the faculty member for inviting both of us here and giving us this opportunity. I've done zillions of presentations as Ernst & Young with slides. Pretty much, I always had the fear that pretty much telling people something they already know. So I'm glad, hopefully, this is something new for you guys, and it leaves you with few thoughts at least, and specifically within that is, Tag 8 or no Tag 8, please be more open to the fact that Indians are honest. And if you guys don't believe it, I don't think we'll be able to send that message across anywhere else. So that is my humble submission, that you guys need to at least, at the minimum, change your view or be open to the level of honesty that India can potentially see. Thank you.